go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. I'm Charline.
I'm God's Gift Matthew. Hello, everyone.
And today we have in our studio, we have Lauren Chavez. How are you today?
I'm very well. Very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Good.
indeed. We're rolling out the red carpet for you today, Lauren.
Appreciate it.
Lauren is a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. And the thing that I love about Lauren is that she is a spicy financial advisor. You know, when I met you, Lauren, I just want to say this. I was so impressed with not only the amount of knowledge that you have, but with your passion. So that's why we wanted to have you on today.
Thank you. That's really nice to hear. Thank you. I do appreciate that. When I met you, I could just tell you're a very enthusiastic, passionate person about educating people in all aspects. So I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Good. So now,
A little closer.
do we need to keep rolling? We can just keep rolling. Okay. So Lauren, the first thing I want to ask you is, what school did you go to, first of all? Did you go to school to be a financial advisor, or how did that happen?
You know, it's funny. I never thought I'd be working in finance. I always knew I loved business because there's actually a few business owners in my family. So I went to California State University, Northridge, so CSUN.
Woo woo.
Sometimes I say CSUN and people don't know what CSUN is, so
All
I have
the
to
locals kind of know what
I know
CSUN is.
so many people that are going to Cal State University of Northridge, so shout out to them.
Yeah, so I went there originally for business, and I actually started working with Northwestern Mutual as an intern, and I fell in love with the company.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
So it ultimately turned into me working full-time, becoming licensed as an advisor, and the rest is history.
Oh, nice. So
Wow.
once you got there, was it kind of like the wheels were turning and you're like, you know what, I can see myself in this company?
Exactly. I was just like, you know what, this is very interesting work, and it's awesome work because you get to be in front of someone and help them, and it was just a nice experience to be that one person to help people.
Nice. And how did you find that place in particular to do your internship?
Oh, great question. My advisor that brought me in was actually my brother and his wife's advisor.
Oh, nice.
So I started picking his brain and saying, hey, I started overhearing their conversations, and I was like, okay, you know, they're talking about this. I think it's kind of interesting. And then one thing led to another, and he was able to get me an interview, and I got into
nice.
the internship.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Networking. It's all about relationships.
Yes, relationships, very important.
Absolutely. Now, when you became a financial advisor, what were some of the things that you were focused on in that position? What do you focus on?
That's a good question. I think for me, a lot of it is remembering my background. Where do I come from? Because I come from, a very middle-class family, 7 children.
Wow, 7.
So 6 brothers.
And you're the
And
only
you
girl?
know-
And no sisters, but best friends.
So you were like the princess of the house.
I was, not anymore. So you grow up and you lose that. But for me, I think the most important thing was really, again, just educating people, because I think that a lot of people don't know what tools there are out there. And if my parents knew these things, I think we'd all be better off. I mean, there might have been more talks or conversations on education planning and things like that. So for me, walking into it, I think families, it has a very big place in my heart, because I want to educate and help guide.
Okay. Because, I was talking to someone a few weeks ago, and we were talking on this very subject. And she said, my mother loved books growing up. She said, when I was growing up, I remember my mom would take me to a bookstore, and she'd buy $200 or $300 worth of books almost every month. She said, my mother was an avid reader. She said, when we talked about investing and where I was going to go to college and all of that, she would say, oh, I don't know that I'm going to have money to invest in your future because I have a paycheck and it's limited. And she said, growing up, I didn't realize that the $200 or $300 my mom was spending on those books every month could have gone towards my education if we had known better. She said, now my legacy is a closet full of books. And that really had an impact on me, because I think people don't realize that they don't need a lot of money to invest. It's just, it can be a small amount over a long period of time.
Definitely.
So that same $200 or $300 that her mom was spending on books every month, if she had invested that money in, something and being advised by someone, a professional, that could have been, if not all of her college fund, it could have been a large part of it.
Definitely.
So that's why I really have a lot of respect for people like you who can come and sit down with a family and explain those types of things. Like, this is what you can do for your family. This is a legacy that you can leave for your family. You don't have to wait until you have a huge amount of money, because I think that's what don't people think that?
Oh my gosh, all the time. They're like, Lauren, I can't talk to you just because I'm not there yet. And
you're like, where's there?
Yeah, what is there? But it's really, it is so true. It's about taking those steps that get you, in the right place.
Yes.
Things don't happen overnight. When we talk about financial security or planning, that is not a one-time conversation.
Yes.
It's about, building healthy habits. So it's so true. I love hearing that.
Right? Yeah, it's so true, because I think that I did recently a show, and we were talking to a gentleman, and he was a director, and he was talking about the future that he'd like to see for his family. So everybody has like a dream of a future for their family,
Yes.
but I think sometimes we don't realize it's one step at a time. You're not waiting for that giant paycheck to appear, and then you say, okay, I'm going to do this with it, right?
Right,
Take
right.
the small paychecks and,
Clarification, though, we would love big
Clarification.
paychecks too,
Yes.
though.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Yes, the
I'm
big
not turning
paycheck.
those down.
Not at all.
Lord bless me.
Yes. But with the little ones and the big ones, invest a portion of that money.
Make it count.
Yes.
Make it
Lord, I
count.
need all the checks. How about that?
Now, you said you were a student. Now, did you have any other types of jobs before you got into being a financial advisor?
I did. I had to. So my story when it comes to school, it's I appreciate it so much more now. But it took me a few more years longer than the average person to graduate. And the reason why I think is just because I was working my brother's business. I was managing it, one of the offices.
Okay.
So that was like a 9 to 5, and then going to night class, and so it just took more time. But again, it just I think makes you appreciate things a lot more.
Absolutely. So you worked your way through school.
I did.
Wow. So then from your perspective, you know exactly what hard work can do.
Yes. And
That's
watching
amazing.
mom and dad too. So
Yeah.
hard work.
Wow. And then being one of 7 siblings, what position in the family are you? Like, what number child are you?
Sometimes I have to think about that one. I'm like, where am I? So I am the third youngest.
Okay. So you're like right almost in the middle.
Almost.
Wow. And all these brothers around you. I want to talk about that a little bit more when we come back.
That's
To
the-
have
she has her personal
6
security.
brothers. She has
Right.
personal security, right? So,
Gentlemen, beware.
It was hard to get a date.
so we'll be right back with Lunch with the Finance Bunch in just a moment. And we'll be talking to Lauren more about her family and her love and passion for being a financial advisor. And we're back. More with Lauren and Lunch with the Finance Bunch.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back, y'all.
Yes. Now, when we took a break, we started talking about Lauren's wonderful family, because you're one of 7 children, and you're right there in the middle, right? Kind of in the middle. What was that like growing up?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was very sportsy because I just wanted to be involved with my brothers and soccer, softball, things like that. I think my parents were very strategic in doing that, because they had like a little chain system going on. So it was, Lauren, you have to go pick up. Well, my eldest brother, we would walk from our high school to their elementary school, pick them up, take them home, feed them, help them with homework.
Oh, nice.
Then when he got out of the house, so it was like watching the little
Right.
order where you had to help take care and facilitate. And I think it helps make us maybe like a little more mature and grow us up a little faster.
A little bit more responsibility. Now, do you think that had anything like an effect on your deciding to be a financial advisor, being from such a close-knit family and seeing how that whole family dynamic works?
Definitely. I do think that has played or been a factor rather. Just because like working with families, it's a huge passion of mine, just because I want to help guide. So I think that being around a huge family and wanting to, help create structure and help be a role model for individuals like that definitely had a factor.
Okay. Now, what exactly does a financial advisor do? When you go to work, what do you do every day?
That's such a great question. What do you do every day?
We want to know.
She's out here saving lives.
Wonder Woman. Yes. So I think that there are a lot of different types of financial advisors. There are some individuals who provide guidance in one specific area. My role with Northwestern, I'm more of a comprehensive financial advisor. So my job really consists of, we talk about building relationships. Building relationships are very important. My job is to get to know someone by asking them questions, focusing on short-term goals, long-term goals, seeing where they are today financially. And then, depending on their goals, I provide recommendations to help them get there. And again, it's not always like over, one period of time. It's really about taking those baby steps sometimes, but it's about providing education, giving them a little bit of expertise in what tools are appropriate for them based off their risk tolerance and what they're trying to accomplish. So it's a lot of taking care of their risk management side of planning, their protected, their income, their assets. And then it's about providing wealth on the flip side, making sure they're investing, they're thinking about retirement, they're saving.
You got a big smile when you said saving.
Because I think saving is such an important thing. And I think sometimes people have an idea, well, being, my position or my role is to make them save all their money, but it's really not. We want to work hard, play hard, but we want to know where those dollars are going so they grow for us.
Exactly.
So saving's a fun conversation.
Yeah, so we don't save all of our money, but we do save some of it, Matthew.
You are looking over here so hard. I can feel you looking at me the entire time she was talking.
Because I wanted to kind of enter into that conversation. But now, when you say the risk side of it, what does that mean?
So risk management side of planning. So as people are growing their families, they're buying properties, getting married, having kids, risk management is making sure that all of those important things for us that we care about are taken care of.
Okay.
So sometimes it's making sure on the insurance side, for instance, everything from loved ones to assets are taken care of. So at the end of the day, people just know they have a peace of mind, really. Right. They're bulletproof. And then the complete opposite of that is really generating and building wealth, and that's retirement and investments. Okay,
so you do the balance.
Yes, pretty much making sure it all ties in together.
Yeah, because I know, people maybe don't realize that, let's say they're a family, and this is powerful. When you're a family, everyone walks out that door in the morning, and to be honest, you don't know who's coming home in the afternoon. And so with a husband and wife, especially when they leave the home, if one of them don't return, you want to make sure your family is only impacted emotionally. They're not impacted financially, right? So that they can absorb the loss on an emotional level, but they don't have to do it on a financial level. And I think sometimes that's the component that's missing for people when you talk about insurance. It's to make everybody get skittish. They don't want to talk about it. But it really is, right, to put in place so that they have a tool that can still feed them and take care of them, and they don't have to compromise their lifestyle.
Of course.
Right?
Most important thing is I think, and that's what a lot of families realize, is that I think for some of us, we don't think about the what ifs until it happens to someone we know or we love and care about. So with a lot of families that I, sit in front of, right, when we're having conversations, it's about, at the end of the day, if anything does happen, I want to make sure my family can stay in this home that I'm, paying for, and I'm raising my family, my children, and I don't want them to have to change a lifestyle because I'm not here. They're depending on me.
Yes.
Exactly.
So it's an important, and that's planning in general, when we have these conversations, it is such an important conversation to have with someone. You are talking about someone's loved ones, someone's hard work. So I take it very seriously, but I'm not a robot. I love to build relationships with people and have fun. I want them to get excited about a plan.
Right.
Especially like on the savings side, because people think when savings that they're putting their money away in some vault somewhere and they never can touch it again.
And it's locked away for life.
No way. Because you're saving for fun things like
Traveling.
Vacation and travel, right?
Yeah.
And being able to do that not just one time, but over a lifetime of have enjoyment.
Especially vacation. That's something that I've been saving towards for a while now, and I'm trying to go everywhere. I just got my passport in the beginning of the year. Woo woo!
Ooh, it's exciting.
Yeah.
So, world, look out.
That's right. Yeah, but that's what I think that the missing link for is with the missing link between a financial advisor sometimes and what we need a financial advisor for. And that's why I was so happy when I met you, because you were so easy to talk to, so down to earth, and your compassion about families and creating this balance for them over a long period of time was something I found very impressive. So I was so excited to have you come in, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
You over there just lighting up, Char.
I know, this is my area. I love talking about this. I say finance isn't sexy, but being broke isn't sexy either. Gotta have those dollars, right? What did Jay-Z say this morning? You had me listening to him on the way in. What did he say?
I don't know. What did he say?
He said, being a billionaire, you can't be ugly being a billionaire.
Oh, that's very true.
Right?
It looks good from every side.
It looks good from every angle, exactly.
And what's better than 1 billionaire? Two.
So Lauren's going to get us to that billionaire point.
Oh, yeah. She's become my best friend now.
Okay. Yeah, so you scooting close over here like,
Hey, friend.
So now, Lauren, how long have you been doing this? How long?
So it's been about 2.5 years.
Wow. Okay. So now with your customer base, because you have a lot of customers in a short period of time, And so with your customers, what would you say the biggest thing is that the main question they ask you when you come and sit down with them? What is one of the main questions they ask you?
That's a tough question. I think for my clients, I think a lot of them, it really depends on, I think, their age and where they are in life. Because a lot of people have, goals of getting married and buying properties. Property is something I hear about, all the time, often, I should say. So it's about, when is the right time? What can I be saving so I can be exposed to a little more growth when I do purchase my property? I just don't want it sitting there.
Yes, because rent is high in California.
Yes, yes.
Ooh, man, especially when I look at it as opposed to the rest of the world outside of like New York. Oh man, I need a breather.
Crazy.
I definitely need to start saving right now.
And traveling still.
Yeah.
And traveling still, balance, right? So now, what do you tend to tell young people about, their financial needs? How do you advise them?
So working with a young person, being a young person myself, I mean, I'm not 21. In my mind, I may be, but, working with a younger professional, it's about guiding them, providing a lot of guidance. Because I think a lot of us don't know how to plan. Our generation is not used to it.
Right.
A
We're
lot
definitely
of us,
not focused on it at all.
No.
Right. A lot of us are spenders. A lot of us don't even know when we get out of, college, what type of student loan debt we have.
That's very true.
So for
Stop
me,
looking at me, Charline.
Okay, I'll look
we
away.
need to talk after this. I can help you. But it's about, with a younger person, it's about, look, this is where you are today. And I love asking questions about mom and dad, because I can tell, how they were raised or brought up around money. That gives me a lot of perspective on how they view and value money. So I try to ask them these types of questions of goals, time frames, because I think a lot of us have goals, but we don't write them down. We just think it might be nice to purchase a home. It might be nice to, to put dollars away to travel, but we don't track a lot. So I think that for me, it's more important to understand the habits of this younger person, and then to show them the roadmap of where they actually want to be. If they do want to be like mom and dad at a certain age and time and have a certain amount under their belt, this is what it's going to take.
Okay, because I heard you say that we don't track a lot. And I love that analogy, because the tracking system is the problem, right? If you're not tracking your spending, you might be spending outside of your means.
Yes.
Right. So the tracking system, I like that, Lauren. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this tracking system,
Yes,
Matthew.
Don't worry, I'm looking back at you too.
Welcome back, everyone, to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. I'm
Welcome
Charlene.
back.
Welcome back, Matthew.
Hello. I feel like I've been in the hot seat this past 30 minutes.
I know. I'm going to back out of, putting you in the hot seat. We're enjoying this conversation with Lauren. Lauren is a financial advisor, and we're getting a lot of tips from her on what we should and should not do, and also what our future could bring if we do things correctly. Right, Lauren?
Right.
So Matthew's feeling like he's in the hot seat. I don't know why.
That's because you keep staring at me 24/7. She's like, the financial tip of the day. Financial planning. Look at me.
You're just feeling that way, just because you're feeling that way.
No, I can feel your eyes burning into my soul. It's all good, though.
Now, Lauren, we were talking about pacing, right? Let's get back on track. We were talking about pacing. So when you talk about pacing yourself financially, and you talked about a young person, what would you talk about to an older person as far as their financial needs? What would be some of the things you tell them?
Well, so a lot of times when I help an older individual plan, I mean, they have different goals because they're approaching retirement.
Right.
So now it's about what
Speeding
else?
that process up, right?
Exactly. What else can I be thinking about? What do taxes look like for me? What's my legacy for my loved ones? Will my property be paid off by the time I want to choose not to go back to work? What does the cash flow look like? So for them, it's a little bit different. And for the younger people, it's about getting them there.
Right.
So it's fun working with all age categories and different types of individuals. So different conversations for different people.
So, but it goes back to what you said earlier, which I love, is the tracking system that you put in place for each person or each family.
Right.
Right. So it's not a one size fit all, ladies and gentlemen. It is, personal. So that's why you need a financial advisor to come in and talk to you about your individual needs and about your family needs, because it's not a one-stop shop and it's not a, one size fit all.
Definitely.
Right.
Even going over a budget is something that some people don't take a lot of time to do because life gets busy. We know that. So sometimes walking someone over a budget is something that's, you can see a little spark in their eye. Oh my gosh, I didn't know I spent so much dining out,
Right.
or the movies or entertainment. So sometimes that's helpful just to review with someone.
That's very true.
I feel like eating out is the one thing that gets everybody, as far as like not being able to track or monetize how much you're spending throughout the year, to where it's a lot.
But also, like on your bank statement, you could have your bank statement broken out into categories,
Right.
like what you're spending your money on. And that is a very frightening experience. But it's worthwhile because you can look back at the month before and put things in categories. And then, you go, when you see.
Exactly. You need your bank to send you alerts like too much, spending way too much money on food.
Halt.
Stop. That would be good. That would be a great app to have, right? When you get to a certain number, it just goes, so you know not to spend anymore, right?
Yes.
And then when you go too
this
far
is Chase
over.
Bank. You need to start cooking.
Right.
Exactly. That would be perfect.
Sending recipes your way.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes, definitely. And so I think sometimes people feel like if they talk to a financial advisor, that's what starts to happen. Like they're going to call them and say, wait a minute, you weren't supposed to go out to dinner last night, right? But that's not what you do, So that's why I wanted to have you on. That's not the case. It's tracking.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Tracking your life over your lifetime, not your one-time incidents, right?
Definitely. Definitely. It's exciting.
Exactly. Now, when you put together a plan for someone, do you do like a 2 to 5 year plan, or do you do how do you plan?
So it's really most of the time it's a long-term plan, but it shows where they are today, and if they keep doing what they're going to be doing, right, contributing however much into their 401k, saving however much into different areas, I'll show them that pattern over the next 30 years for a younger individual. Now, if they take some of the recommendations to help reach those goals a lot quicker, I'll also show them on paper what that would do in 10, 20, 30 years.
Okay. I see that. I see that. So then they can actually see over.
Yes, because a lot of us are visual people.
I'm very visual.
I'm definitely a visual person as well.
So having this, we call it a personal planning analysis, but having this, I like to think of it as a roadmap. Because, if we were sitting down and we were helping you plan for some of these short-term goals, maybe it's to build a nest egg, maybe it's to plan a little retirement fund, I would show you today what that would do. And then with my clients, I love to have annual review meetings. I think it's only fair as an advisor for them. So when we get back together in a year, unless you would like to meet prior to that, which I love getting those calls too.
Right.
Sometimes I'll get calls, Lauren, guess what? We just bought our first home, or Lauren, we're having a baby. Can we get back together within the next couple of weeks? We need to know what we should think. Yeah, we want to know what we should be thinking about. So for you, it would be, you on paper here today. When we met again in a year, whenever you would want to, I would show you the changes, the progress we've made. We'd talk about more goals, and then we'd see what other new planning we could be thinking about.
That sounds good.
That's exciting, actually, because then you can see your progress.
Exactly.
Right? It's like getting your report card after
I know for a lot
year.
of people that will be a huge confidence builder to let them know they're going on the right track of something.
Heck yeah.
It is.
So do you usually meet with your clients once a year, annually? You set up an appointment to get back together with them if they want to?
I do. For a lot of my clients, they would like to, it's not like a quarterly basis, but a lot of my clients do want to meet sometimes twice a year. So I definitely always offer that.
That's amazing. Now, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you and sit down with you and decided, hey, I want Lauren to take a look at my financial future, what items would they need to bring with them to that meeting?
Yeah, I get asked that sometimes. I don't normally like to ask for information unless there's something very specific that individual wants to talk about in our 1 hour introductory meeting. So if they tell me, Lauren, I really want to have a strategy to pay off my student loan debts, I'll say, okay, sounds good. Bring me the interest rates, bring me the balances, bring me the information. Are they subsidized, unsubsidized, private, federal? So if it's something specific they want to accomplish in that first hour meeting, I would then ask for specific type of information.
Okay.
If it's retirement, I'd ask for statements of 401k because I want to know how the assets are allocated. I want to know the balances, what they're contributing. Is there a match? So normally, people just really don't know what to expect in a first-time introductory meeting with an advisor. So I don't like to ask for information. I really just want to sit down with the person, ask them questions, and get to know them.
Gotcha.
And if I need information, I will be sure to email it. And then that's when they're very prompt on responding with their missing items.
Right.
That's definitely a good icebreaker.
Yeah, exactly. So your first meeting is really a get-to-know you session.
Yes.
Okay. And then, people also think that when they sit down with a financial advisor for the first time, they have to pay them. So could you please clear up that myth?
Yeah, so there are some advisors that do that. They charge an hourly fee. I do not. It's an introductory type of meeting. It's really just to get to know this person, see if I can even be helpful. If I feel like I can and I can actually create an analysis and I can actually provide recommendations, I will schedule a second meeting with that person. There is no charge to give recommendations or to build a plan. If that person wants to take my recommendations, whether it's some sort of investment, some sort of risk management product, that's when I would be compensated by my firm. So
Right.
I do not charge people to have these types of meetings.
Good. I wanted to just clear that up.
Yes.
See, Lauren is your friend,
See?
guys. You don't have to be
Exactly.
scared.
You don't have to be scared. You can go to her. You can sit down. You don't need a whole lot of paperwork. You just go sit down and have a friendly conversation
Yes.
so that you can get to know each other better and the two of you can decide whether you want to work together or not.
Love that. Yeah,
Exactly.
we really do. At the end of that meeting, we get to decide if we're a good fit for each other.
Right. Exactly. And that's important too because a financial advisor is someone who's going to be walking through life with you.
Exactly.
It's not just this one-time chance meeting, so you do want to get to know each other to make sure it is a good fit.
They better be my friend.
Definitely.
Talking about your money, it better be your friend, right?
Exactly.
So, Lauren, like for yourself and your future, how do you see this growing for you?
I see that, I'm on track right now for more credentials, my CFP. So I see myself continuing education always. I think that the moment we stop growing mentally, it hurts us. It's damaging. So for me, it's growing. It's higher education, constant reading, following up on things. Expanding my practice to me means hiring more people. I'd love to have a team, whether it's 3 or 4 individuals, but I'd love to have a team that is helping me manage our clients.
Nice.
Helping us really, create these analysis, keep in contact, reach out, track the investments, all the portfolios. So eventually it's just going to be making an army of Laurens.
Army of Laurens, I like that. So now, what trends do you see for young people?
So for young people, it's a lot of getting out of college, feeling overwhelmed with student loan debt, and it's a lot of spending, a lot of dining out. It's a lot of, just because we're busy working too, so it's kind of hard to not dine out
Right.
sometimes. It's a lot of, it's a lot of like lack of education.
Yeah.
Because our parents didn't teach us too much about it. So with younger people, it's just those common trends that it's about just, again, feeding information.
And education. And you get to do that
Yes.
because you're a young person.
Yes.
They might just listen to you, Lauren, because you're in their age group, right?
You look like us, Lauren.
Exactly. So I think that's the trend. you should listen to Lauren for a couple of reasons. She's educated. She knows what she's talking about. And what? She's within your age group.
That's going to be the new hashtag, listen to Lauren.
Listen to Lauren. I like that
I like
hashtag.
that too.
Listen to Lauren. That's going to be one of our hashtags. Well, Lauren, this is great. I can't wait to talk to you about some more things. When we come back, we have a little game that we like to play. So we like to play that game with you. How's that?
I'm excited. Love
Okay,
games.
so we're going to take a break right now, a station break, and we'll be right back. I'm Charline on Dash Talk Radio.
Dash Talk Radio.
And we'll be right back. Good afternoon, and we're back.
We are back.
You know what, Lauren? I want to get into some personal questions.
Ooh, okay.
Don't get nervous.
Your personal financial questions, some things, some personal things about Lauren.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you, first of all, who do you think are 3 key people in your life that had influence in some of the decisions that you've made? Because you're a very smart young lady. So who are 3 key people that you would say in your life that have helped in that way?
I would always say my parents.
Okay.
Because
Shouts out to Lauren's parents.
Yes, definitely.
Mom and dad. No, really, just watching them. I mean, my father comes from a family of 10 children. So watching them and how they raised us, and, mom working 9 to 5, coming home, cooking, helping us with homework, and like just building that kind of relationship where they wanted to be involved.
Yes.
And I knew I didn't have support, financial support, at least when I went to college, but they were urging me to go to college. Like,
Yes.
you need to do this. You have to do this.
Yes.
And they were always so proud. So it's like them being so proud of you, and it's just motivation. Like, sometimes we make decisions for loved ones, and they're the loved ones that I make my decisions for. So they're definitely huge factors in that. I think that in my office itself, I mean, my office is amazing. My company, my firm is amazing because we have so much support. You talk
That's
about,
important.
Oh, so much support. Culture is so important.
It really is.
Because I'm a young woman.
Right.
So being a young woman and walking into a meeting sometimes and advising clients who are doing very well, and maybe they're in their 50s, I have mentors that I can lean on. I have senior advisors that have more gray hair, more experience.
Exactly.
But sometimes that's important to someone.
Right.
So, when I have questions that I feel like are a little beyond me and my experience, I know who I can go to and who I can lean in and ask for help.
Yes.
And you have support around the office that really know that you care and you're compassionate about what you're doing, and they see that and they want to help too. So
Yeah, and Northwestern Mutual has been around for a long time.
160 years.
Yes, that is a
about a
well-established,
legacy.
reputable company.
A lot of gray hair.
A lot of gray hair in there.
Shouts out to everyone with gray hair.
But you know what? I love the fact that, there are millennials who are into having a stable financial future. And not all millennials everyone, I think, is put under this cup of, they're irresponsible, all the negatives, and they don't get a chance to see all of the positives. And those are some of the things I like to highlight on this show, is the positive things that the millennials are doing, right?
Yes.
And so, of course, they're going to be carefree. They're young. Of course, they're going to spend more money than they should. They're young. But to have someone like you who is within that age range, who's getting the wisdom from the elders to help not only families, but people who are in your age range, I think that's powerful. And I think I commend your company, Northwestern Mutual. I commend them for embracing you and for giving you the guidance you need so that you can help impact the next generation. So I want to give a shout out to your company because I think that's powerful.
Yes.
I really do. So I'm glad you mentioned.
Amazing firm, amazing beliefs.
Exactly.
And hashtag listen to Lauren.
Hashtag listen to Lauren. I like that one.
I like it. It's kind of catchy.
It is really catchy. Okay, so that was 2. Who's the third person?
Third person would be my partner in life. I think that he's been a very huge influence. He's actually in the same type of industry, same type of work.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
he's someone where we can relate to what we experience and the time and effort we put into our business and growing it. So he's someone who he's very near and dear to me professionally and, of course, personally.
Right. So then you can bounce ideas off of each other and all that too.
Yes.
That's great. That's really great. So now, Lauren, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know you're going to have this army of Laurens running around, but what else are you going to be doing 5 years from now?
I think 5 years from now, like, well, on a personal level, I'd like to do some planning on my own.
Okay.
So 5 years from now, marriage is important, starting a family is important. And the way that I would like to have my practice grow is I'd like to have I'd like to be able to really just have my team operate so well, because we all know what we're, at the end of the day, what needs to be accomplished. And it's so efficient that my team can handle things when I'm not there, and I can take some more time off.
Okay.
Because having a practice, and I work with individuals and I work with business owners, so I'll always tell business owners this, having a business is a very important thing. It's your business, but it's your personal life too, that you put so much of your time into.
Right.
So working with business owners, it's kind of neat because even we bounce ideas off one another and
That's true.
and help each other grow. So one day I'd like to just have a business, a practice that's working so efficiently where I can take a little more time off, hopefully.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That
I
definitely
like
sounds like a plan.
What's Lauren's legacy going to be?
Lauren's legacy is going to be, eventually Lauren's legacy will be helping mom and dad a bit more financially. I'd love to send them off traveling, supporting them a little bit, and then
Oh, they will love you forever.
yeah,
Okay.
more than they do now. I'd love to be able to give back. Giving back to the community is very important. I'm a part of the Big Brother Big Sister program. I try to get involved with my church, so giving back is important. Eventually, it's family, leaving and running a practice again efficiently, and making sure my clients are always taken care of, because that's always going to be important. Because eventually they're going to be having families and they're going to want help and guidance. So the legacy is just ongoing, and it's making sure everything's running smoothly.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great legacy to have.
Indeed.
Well thought out.
Very well
that?
thought out.
Yeah, see, millennials can do it too. So now, Lauren, in our next segment, we're going to come back. We're going to ask you some rapid fire questions. How's
Okay.
that? Okay.
Fun.
This is Charline, and this is Lunch with the Finance Bunch on Dash Talk Radio, and we'll be right back with our rapid fire questions for Lauren. I'm Miss Charline, and this is Lunch with the Finance Bunch, and we are back in the studio with Lauren, and we're going to do our rapid fire questions.
Yes,
Matthew, are you going to
indeed.
handle this
This is my
part?
official takeover of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Char, you can sit back and relax.
Yes, sir.
So, Lauren, I'm going to ask you not a few questions, but just throw out a few words, and you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. Don't be nervous. They'll be easy. But the first one is family. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Vacation.
Ooh, I like that. Finance.
Important. Are
You wanna
these
say
just words, or
Yeah,
is it
these
like
are just these are just gonna be words. So you just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Legacy.
so important? It's like, what does legacy mean? I think of children.
Nice. Okay, now I'm gonna switch it up. If you were to choose between having $10,000 on a shopping spree or a $10,000 vacation to anywhere you wanted to go, what would you choose?
Half and half.
I love that
All right, we got
answer.
5,000 and 5,000. You're out the hot seat, Lauren. You're out the hot seat.
Now, I have one question, maybe two. If you hit the lottery, what would you buy with the money?
Remember, we're all friends here, Lauren.
Yes. And remember, you were on our show, so you can start with us if you like.
Now it's just like to hear the family first
Yeah.
and then us.
Oh, okay.
That's the first
That's the
thought that
order.
came to mind is remodeling my parents' house,
Oh, nice.
because they need to. We've got like carpet from the 70s that's very like shaggy.
I was gonna say, shout out to the shag carpet.
So, yeah.
It's back, though.
Well, this one just needs to be remodeled a bit. So we'd probably be taking care of that. We'd be paying for my brother's college, so they don't have to worry about that, because my two younger brothers are still going through it. The struggle is real. And then it'd be about just taking care of a lot of family, I think, helping like the nieces and nephews with their college education, putting some money aside to travel. Things like that are important. I've always loved traveling myself. And then giving back to the community. I think LA has a very serious issue when it comes to people on the streets.
yes.
So I would love to feed and house people, because
Yes.
I see that walking every day.
Absolutely.
So community involvement would be important. And then, I don't know, I think just giving back, because who needs a whole bunch of money? I think if people think we all need a whole bunch of money, but I think giving back is sometimes way more rewarding than keeping it all.
It
For sure.
absolutely is. Now, Lauren, if someone wants to use you as their financial advisor, or they want to sit down and just have a talk session with you so they can figure out what their road to success will be financially, how do they contact you?
Yeah, so I'd say phone call or emails might be the best way. And again, even if it's a short introductory phone call where we can kind of get a vibe for each other, would love to see if I can be helpful. So you can reach me in my office number at 213-412-2854.
Great. And now, what about your email address? Do you have an email address for them?
Yes, so you can tell here I'm looking at my business card because I'm so bad with remembering everything.
That's okay,
got
as
a
long
lot
as
of
you
stuff
get
to
it right.
remember.
Exactly.
So it's lauren.a.chavez@nm, so that's northwesternmutual.com.
Got it. So you guys out there, if you want a good financial advisor, a great financial advisor, sit down, have a conversation with Lauren.
Yes,
and she
indeed.
definitely can set you on the right track. And what does she say?
She's your friend. # listen to Lauren.
Listen to Lauren. Matthew, any other questions for Lauren today?
I mean, I feel like she saved my life a bunch today, so I don't have any further questions. What about you, Char?
I just want to say, Lauren, I want to thank you for coming in and sharing this time with us and giving us all this information. I think that is much needed. And I hope our people that are listening will take your advice and come in and see you, sit down with you and get that individual accountability that you're offering.
Thank you so much for having me. You
Of
guys are such a
course.
great team. It was fun.
Oh, thank you. So that means you'll come back?
Of course.
Oh,
okay.
yes, indeed. # listen to Lauren, y'all.
# listen to Lauren. I'm Charline,
I'm God's gift, Matthew.
and we had such a wonderful time with Lauren in the studio. Take her information down and give her a call. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. I'm your host, Miss Charline, on Dash Talk Radio.
Tuesdays at noon. I'm God's gift.